to add A or B. Okay, so please write down your name as it is written in your foreign passport, like that. And let me check. How do you understand? Please do not forget, if you do not write your name, you are considered as absent. So please be attentive and do not forget to do that at the beginning. Okay, and I want to spend this lecture and at the beginning just to tell you several words about our department, because you have to understand the general rules on how our lessons are conducted and what you have to prepare to get the best grade. So first, I want to show you our website, because you can get a lot of information out of there. So we worked for a long period in form of distance learning. So we interacted with our students with the help of website. So now it has a lot of information, and 1 minute, I'll open the page. So I'll demonstrate you my screen. Besides, if you have any problems with my sound, with my anything else, then please do not hesitate to inform me. So during the lecture, please keep your microphone off, only in case you want to ask me something, then switch it on and ask whatever you want, or use the chat. But it is better to ask me with the help of microphone. Another rule, please, today you are joining during this 10-minute period of time. As usually, you have to join in time. So please, next time, don't be late, and we start our lecture exactly at 10:30. Okay, do not forget that. So let's go directly to our department. How you can find our website and how can you get the information out of there? Let me give you the hyperlink. Here it is. I put it in the chat, and I advise you to save this page and to label it as favorite, because sometimes you need to get a quick access to get some relevant information, and it's very helpful hyperlink. So please go to the chat and take it. So what can you get from our website? Here, first of all, you see students are late, and today I allow you to join, but next time students joining later than 10:30 will be considered as absent. So please try to do this in time. Okay, so first of all, what information you can get? This is the stuff. Here you can get information about our our personnel. First, the head of our department. Here you can read the brief information about his scientific activity. Then also other teachers, they're not English speaking. I think that English speaking teachers should be labeled here. Here's information about me. Besides, my name is Olga, and I'm going to be your lecturer till the end of the semester. So why maybe you need this information about our staff? Maybe you want to inform me about something. So here is my email. This is the official email, and please use it to contact me. Okay, here is my name, and if you forget my name, so here you can identify our teachers. If you forgot their name. Here is Natalia, another English-speaking lecturer. Here's her email, so if she's your teacher, you can use her email to inform her about something, and so on. Here is Katerina, our third English-speaking lecturer, and some Ukrainian teachers. The Paul, also he teaches in English students, and also Olga. The first chapter about our staff. Here you can get the relevant information about our teachers, if you want to contact them, for example. Then another, let's go directly to the list of questions. Here in this chapter, you can get the information about questions for practical lessons. Every practical lesson, you are asked questions, and to be graded, for the highest grade to be examined and to get the best mark. You have to answer all the questions. So here, all questions are subdivided into modules. In other departments, they are called seminars. So, for example, we start from the first module here, and that's exactly what you need to prepare for the first lesson. And I want to highlight that every practical lesson you should prepare beforehand at home. And please do not await us to explain you something at the beginning of the lesson. We are not at school, and in the university education, university education, it implies the self-education, and 50% is your self-work. So you get a textbook from the library and you prepare at home according to this list of questions. So you will be asked this question. Let's open it, this document. And exactly next lesson, next week, we have the topic cytology, for example. Here you can see that questions are listed, and there are a lot of questions because the topic is very wide, but take into account that you know a lot of information from biology department or from school. But I want to warn you, do not rely on your knowledge got from another department. Here we add and update your information. We investigate in depth the structure of animal cell, exactly, not plant, bacterial, but exactly animal cell. And we pay attention to the molecular level. So a lot of information about Golgi complex, about endoplasmic reticulum, you should improve while preparing for this lesson. So the topic is complicated and you should work thoroughly. So to prepare for the first lesson, you use this list out of 17 questions and you can prepare in way just try to answer those questions before the lesson. As you can see, questions are subdivided into bold and others. Why? Because when you prepare to the module, you prepare all the questions from these topics. And to get the minimal grade, you have to prepare bold questions at least. So if it is too difficult for you to prepare the full list of questions, you just use only those labeled bold, and they are enough to get the minimal mark. As you can see, bold questions less numerous. Of course, it is more simple for you to prepare. So what I want to say, for practical lessons, you prepare a list of questions for every practical lesson. Then after several practical lessons, as you can see after those 1, 2, 3, 4, you have module. And for the module, you repeat all those questions. And if you want to get the minimal mark, you repeat on the bold questions. If you want to be graded for the highest mark, 4 or 5, you prepare the full list of questions. I want you to understand our rules. Okay, so this is the list of questions. Besides, it is updated, so do not download all the list right now. Sometimes we refresh and change something so it is updated continuously, and try to use those downloaded from the website. Most relevant information is in the website. Okay, so this is as for the list of questions. Then every practical lesson you are not only asked oral questions, but also you have your MCQs. I'm sorry, something like, sorry. Also you have MCQs. And here in our website, exactly, the database is uploaded. So MCQs and Croc tests, here they are. Open this hyperlink. And here you open for medical students this icon. And after that, you have 2 files. What file to choose to prepare for practical lessons? So one file is of 22 pages, another is much larger. I'm sorry for my internet connection is not so quick as I want it to be. So you download exactly the first file, and prepare. Sorry. The computer is logging. Okay, here we are. So here, everything's good now. Here we have two databases. One is made up of 108 pages, another is made up of 22 pages. So please, of course, choose the first one, because the second document is for students of the third year. As you know, you have licensed exam called CROC, and the first licensed exam you have after the third year of education. So the most relevant MCQs concentrated in this file, only made up of 22 pages, so you can recommend to your friends if they are in the third year of education. But for the first and second year students, we use the first database. Okay, it includes besides the second. So as you can see in the first file, MCQs are subdivided by topics. For example, Cytology 1. That's exactly what you have to prepare for the next lesson. So I want to highlight. And then don't tell me that you don't know about that, okay? Now you are informed. Every practical lesson, you are asked to take the MCQ test. MCQs are taken from the open database, and here exactly they are, and that's exactly what you have to prepare. So for the first lesson, you prepare according to the list of questions, and you prepare these MCQs. Here they are. Notice Cytology 2 is for the next topic, so up to Cytology 2. Here, 21 question. I don't think it's very difficult, and correct answers are labeled with asterisks, and if they're not labeled, then A is always correct. Then we ask you to help us if you find any discrepancies in our MCQ database, for example, any answers labeled incorrect, or if you don't understand why exactly this answer is correct, then during practical lesson, please inform us. Also, Katerina is responsible for our MCQ database. So if you find any problems, any troubles, any mistakes, please inform her, and we'll be very thankful if you help us to make our database better. But I think that now it is almost clear and there shouldn't be any mistakes. Okay, so here is the database, and use it to prepare for a very practical lesson. Once again, do not download this file and do not print it till the end of the year. MCQ database is continuously updated. So it is better always to download it from the website. That's why we do not print it, okay? Because some MCQs are corrected or added, or for example, some topics are split into two. That's why try always to download the most relevant information. Okay, so this is as for the MCQs, and do not forget you prepare MCQs for every practical lesson. And if you take the MCQ test and the minimal threshold level is 75%, if you pass this level, then if you draw an album during the practical lesson, then you are graded for the minimal mark. If you want to get a 4 or 5, you are asked oral questions and you have to answer them. Besides, I want to warn you, some students, they think if they prepare some questions except bold, at least several of them, they can get 4 or 5. But please, if you want to get 4 or 5, you have to know everything. Sorry. And please don't be late next time. Next time I wouldn't allow anybody to join the lecture if you are late, okay? So besides, if you have any questions along the lecture, please ask me. Okay, so we have already discussed list of questions for practical lessons, then MCQ tests. So this is our relevant database. And now let's go to our plans. So during this semester, we are going to work according to this plan. Why do you need this? Because, for example, if you miss a lesson due to some reasons, and if you forget the homework, for example, sometimes students, they say, teacher didn't inform us about the homework, so we didn't prepare anything. Please, we know, and I inform you that every lesson you have a homework. There is no lessons without homework. You always work at home before the practical lesson. If you have forgotten the homework, then you can go to the website, find our plans, calendar plans, and here they are. So the first topic is structural components of the cell, plasma membrane, and cytoplasm, except nucleus, because nucleus is for the next topic. So do not forget, here our plan, and we are going to work according to the plan till the end of the semester. Okay. So for medical faculty, these are the plans. After that, what we can get out of our website more. Atlas of histology and examples for album drawings. During practical lessons, usually, you not only ask questions, you not only take your MCQ test, but as well, you draw an album. Drawings are needed to help you better to learn better the structure of different components, because when you prepare for the practical lesson, you have not only to read the text, but also to prepare to look at the images, because histology, this is the knowledge about the structure, and you read in the text the description of different organelles, but you have to recognize them in their images and in their micrographs. So here what you can use some to prepare for the practical lesson. First of all, let's look at the Atlas of Histology. Here, our specimens are subdivided by topics. For cytology, they are grouped together for the first and the second cytology topic. We can open cytology, and all specimens will be downloaded according to this topic. And during module, we use our MCQ, our oral questions, and our specimens. There are 3 stages, 3 steps of our module control. As in anatomy, you are examined in terms of practical skills. In histology, practical skills in recognition of different organelles and subcellular structures. So after we have our cytology topic, you have to recognize different components and different organelles in those specimens. And to prepare better for the practical lesson, you can use this database of images to recognize, for example, to find desmosomes here, or to find Golgi complex in this image, and so on. If you have any problems during practical lesson, please ask your teachers. For example, I have problems in detecting desmosomes in this image. Please show me and tell me how I can recognize desmosome here, because during module you will be asked to do that. So practical lessons are given and conducted not only to explain, and not for explanation actually, but practical lesson, this is your opportunity to ask teacher all the questions you didn't understand by reading the textbook. So you have to prepare yourself, and practical lessons are destined to examine you and to help you to deal with the most complicated questions. So try to do everything at home, try to understand everything, and during practical lesson ask if you have problems and troubles. So once again, our practical lessons include not only oral questions and MCQs, but working with digital images. So during the first part of the lesson, you're asked to recognize different organelles. You're asked questions about their function and about the differential diagnostics. For example, how do you differentiate lysosome from the peroxisome or from lipid droplets? Okay, so you have to answer, and teacher help you to answer if you can't, like that. So to prepare for the first part of the lesson, please use images in your textbooks and of course our database of specimens downloaded on our website. In cytology topic, those images are used obtained besides particularly in our electron microscopy laboratory. As you can see, here is our logo. And after that, embryology topic, here we have light microscopy images. And after that, usually we work with the light microscopy. And here lots of images. They are subdivided by chapters, so you can easily download them or use online images. Okay, so this is as for the Atlas of Histology. Here is the list of specimens. So please use it. and it helps you to look at the specimen whenever you want and whenever it is convenient for you, because 5 years ago students they came to the department and worked with microscopes after the lesson. They were restricted in time and in the number of microscopes. Now you can get the very quick access with the help of our database of online images. Okay, so this is what you have to use to prepare, and examples for album drawings. As you have sometimes every lesson, you have to draw something in your album. Sometimes it is difficult to draw exactly exactly images you see under the microscope. So here we can see we uploaded the images already drawn by others, actually by some professional teachers. So for students it is more convenient sometimes to copy images out of here. For example, the plasma membrane, this is the first topic, so you can upload. I advise you to use this database during the practical lesson, because you all have your smartphones, so you can download the image and use it to label some elements in your album. In the first pages, you have the plasma membrane diagram, the fluid mosaic model, and you are asked to label their different components. So here is an example of the image. You can use it to label them. Okay, so please also as well, if you missed a lesson, you're asked to draw something and to attach your drawings in the Moodle. So here exactly those images are given, you have to draw. Besides some, as I see here, they are organized not according to the list of our topics, so the sequence is wrong. But I promise you till the next week we'll correct this situation and we'll arrange them according to the topics, because now the arrangement is confusing, I'm sorry. Okay, so who is late? Very well. Somebody is late for half an hour. Of course, next lesson will be unacceptable. So next, okay, as we have already discussed our atlas and examples for drawings. Besides, examples for drawings are really helpful as during the practical lesson as well as during makeup lessons. Then let's go to the library, and that's very important information I want to tell you. So our library, what you can find here. First of all, I want to show you. Yeah, I think. Yeah, here is our basic textbook. It is called Junckera, Basic Histology. And I ask you strongly, I strongly recommend you to use exactly this textbook. You can take it from the library. And as I was informed by our librarian, she said just a day ago that some students, they return textbooks with some pages missing. And some textbooks, they miss nearly 100 of pages. So please, I ask you, when you take this textbook out of the library, please check whether it has all the pages. Because if you return after 1 year, next winter you're going to return this textbook back, and if they find some pages lacking there, they'll ask you to pay a penalty, and it is very expensive. So the textbook is very expensive. I think nearly $40, yeah, it costs. So please be careful with using it, because if you damage the textbook when you use it, you have to return this sum of money. So you can take it out of our library, but please be careful. Do not put any notes there, and use it, how to say, responsibly. Yeah, responsibly. Okay. If you don't want to take it from the library, you can buy it from Amazon. I think nearly $40. You can buy it even used. You know, in Amazon, many used textbooks are sold. So this textbook is very, very popular. But I emphasize, please use the 15th edition. 15th. I think 16th is not yet available, but please, it is better to use the latest version, because they really differ sometimes. But if now you don't have this opportunity, or you have some problems in getting textbook from the library, because I think some students, if they've not yet returned from India, they can't return their textbooks. So please, here you are. In our website, you can find the previous 14th edition, and you can download it exactly from here. So next lesson, don't tell us that you didn't have access to the textbook. Even if you don't have the textbook, please download this textbook from the website and prepare according to this material. Okay. As for another textbooks, many students they really prefer different editions, and they find another textbooks they may be larger, and they think that those textbooks are better. If you are strong enough, if you think you're best from the best, okay, we can recommend you to use the Michael Ross. This is the Bible of Histology. There are much more information there, but it is very, very complicated. So please, let's try to start from this textbook. It is enough to get 5, I promise you. But if you want more, you can download this textbook. It is a little bit more complicated. It is destined to teachers. But I want to tell you that when we prepare lectures, usually we use the information from many textbooks, particularly from here. And in the lecture, we put all the additional information. So you don't have to analyze all the textbooks. You need to read only one and to listen to the lecture. And that's how you prepare for practical lesson. Okay, so once again, I strongly recommend you to use exactly this textbook. Why? Because if you download any other textbook, some information could be not given there. Because different authors, they highlight and they concentrate their attention on different aspects of the same topic. So sometimes they can in details describe mitochondria in details, while do not describe proteasome at all. So we know what's given here, and we consider this textbook is the most relevant. So if you use any other information, if you use Wikipedia, if you say I use internet, I just type the question from the list in the internet and study the first hyperlink, this is not the case. Because of course, internet contains a lot of information, but not all sources are relevant. Okay, I want you to understand that not all textbooks are trustworthy. Yeah. So please don't use another, because it is risky. Then, except the textbook, the basic textbook, well, you can download else. These are the Atlas of Histology, and here very good examples of joints are given. So if you want to understand the structure of the specimen, if you want to draw the specimen for makeup lessons, you can download the image out of here. Actually, almost all images from this atlas are taken and downloaded in the examples for album drawings. So this is the basic atlas we recommend to use as examples for drawings, to draw albums. Yeah, this is the basic textbook we use in histology. Then let's scroll down. And here another textbook we recommend. Besides this textbook in doc format, it was edited in Ukraine. This textbook we recommend for those students, if it is difficult for you to use Junqueira's 15th edition. Maybe if you read Junqueira's textbook, and if you find it too complicated, okay, and too much information, and if you want to get the minimal mark, only minimal, not more, then you go and take this histology, cytology, and embryology. Here, the most important information is concentrated, so you can go there, download it, and prepare well, because only several pages need to be prepared. Much less information, but it is concentrated, okay, but not more than 3. Then, after we have 2 cytology topics, after that we have embryology topic. And during those 2 embryology lessons, according to our calendar plan, we use this medical embryology, Landman's medical embryology. Besides, notice that there is the 12th edition. Actually, nowadays the 14th is more relevant, but anyway, notice that if the textbook was edited more than 10 times, it means that it is very important and it is very popular. Again, somebody is waiting for 35, 37 minutes. Please go to the chat, write down your name. Besides, for all students who are late, please go to the chat, write down your name. And first time, I promise, because I understand you have the first lecture, maybe you didn't know how to get information. But next time, you'll be considered as absent, even if you're late for 5 minutes, okay? So please join in time. Okay, so who's there? Again, please go to the chat, put your name and group number, but next time you will not be allowed. And we start at 10:30, and please join in time. Okay, so medical embryology. This textbook we allow you to download because it is not available in our library. We are working on this question, and I hope that we'll buy this textbook. But it is very important because I want also to say that several words about the international level of MCQs. We prepare you according to the Ukrainian standards. Yeah, you have licensed Ukrainian exam during the 3rd and 6th year of education. But if you want to go further, if you want to, for example, take the international MCQs, if you want to go to USA or Europe to continue your career, then you have to take international level MCQs. These are the IFOM or USMLE. So in such programs, they have a great, how to say, they have a distinct subject like medical embryology in the international medical programs, international medical universities. They have medical embryology. In Ukraine, we don't have this as a distinct subject. We have only 2 topics in histology, several topics in biology, and then next semester in every system of organs, we consider its embryonic development in brief, only in brief and in general, superficially, I think. But if you want to take the international level test, then please download this textbook, and you have to prepare all the information out of there. So when you prepare, for example, anatomy topic, for example, if you have in anatomy your cardiovascular system or the respiratory system, please read the embryonic development of those systems here, because here it gives the information not only about the development, but also about genetical regulation of different embryological programs. And you know, the information about genes and the way how the expression is controlled is very important nowadays. And international level MCQs ask you a lot of questions about that. So please use this textbook during 2 lessons of embryology in our department. So first 2 lessons, you use Junqueira's basic histology, and next 2 lessons, medical embryology. Okay. After that, we return to Junqueira, and we use Junqueira till the end of education, till the end of the next semester, till next winter. All the information is there, except embryology. Okay. So please take into account, this is very important information. And I use the time of our lecture to inform all students from all the groups. So now I'm sure that all students are informed, and then don't tell us that you were not informed and you didn't know how to get something. As you can see, to get the very good mark in histology department, you need to know our rules. Our rules are, you have to prepare according to the textbook, choose the proper textbook, you have to use our list of questions, and you have to use our MCQ database. Okay. So this is as for the textbooks. If you want to use any others, you are free to do whatever you want, but first you prepare this, after that, whatever you want. So, and after we have considered our textbooks, let's go to our lectures. Our lectures are during the distance education. We decided to upload our lectures here exactly in our YouTube channel. Besides, I'll give you the hyperlink in the chat. It's another relevant and useful hyperlink. Here it is. As you can see here, our lectures are organized, and you can subdivide them by playlists. As you can see, we have different playlists, and here lectures in English. That's exactly what you need to choose when you use it. I'm sorry. Yeah, here the list of lectures. Predominantly, these are the lectures of the previous semester, but starting from this week, I'll upload here our lectures for this semester. So always before our week starts, you're provided with the opportunity to listen to the lecture in this format. Um, why do you need to listen to the lecture? I spent and I waste, I think, my first lecture now just to explain you everything about our department, but I consider this is more important than cytology explanation. But information about cytology I'll upload in our website during next 2 days. So before next week starts, cytology lecture will be available in our YouTube channel. We don't ask you to listen to the lecture. This is not obligatory. Actually, if you don't want, you may not listen to it. But why we conduct our lectures and what is the purpose of our lectures? As I told you, there are lots of textbooks, there are lots of different sources of information, websites, video files, databases of histological images, and so on. And one student can't analyze all those sources. That's why we work in analyzing all those textbooks. We compare those textbooks one with another, and we find all the discrepancies and all the problem aspects, and we try to prepare the most concentrated and relevant information in the lecture. So to prepare for practical lesson, if you want to get the mark 5, for example, you have to use your textbook, proper textbook Junquera, and our lecture. And if you tell us that we ask you some questions and those questions are not answered in the textbook, so such questions from the list, if the answer is not in the textbook, it should be in our lecture. We control our list of questions, and we know that sometimes questions from the list can be answered by just preparing only the textbook. So we add this information to the lecture. So lectures destined to complement the textbook, not to repeat it, okay? So if you think that a lecture just only repeat the textbook, you're wrong. And please, what I want to highlight once again, it is very important. Don't use only lectures or only textbook. Those two sources, they should be used together. So for every practical lesson, use them together, okay? Because the textbook is the basics, and we don't have such a purpose in our lecture to explain you the full topic. It is impossible. You know, some chapters are very large, and 1 hour and 20 minutes are not enough to just explain you all the aspects, all the tiny details, and there is no reason. So you have to read the chapter yourself. But the purpose of our lecture is to add some information. Maybe if in the textbook it is missed, if it is not well explained, or sometimes even mistakes could be found. Yeah, because textbooks, they were printed several years ago and information could be updated. So please use both sources of information. And once again, another aspect, when some students prepare for practical lesson according to the list, and they find the question, for example, structure and function of mitochondria, and they say mitochondria has 2 membranes, and this is the powerhouse of the cell. That's all. It's not enough, actually. This is not enough. When we ask you to answer this question, it means that you have to represent all the information from the textbook about mitochondria, everything what's written in the textbook, and everything what we give during the lecture, if you want to get 5, of course. So don't try to answer those questions with several words. You should not only say something like, you say, I answered the question, why didn't you put me 5? Because you should not only answer the question, you should answer properly, and you should fully describe the topic and giving all the information from the textbook and from the lecture. So you should work hard to prepare. Besides, why shouldn't you use only lectures to prepare or practical lessons, because in university you should deal with many different tasks. You not only learn different subjects, but you learn how to study. Okay? You study how to study, and this is a very important practical skill, because doctors nowadays, they should always update their knowledge, because lots of discoveries are done every day. So if you want to be on a cutting edge of science, if you want to be a modern doctor, a doctor of the 21st century, you should always update your knowledge, even after you graduate from the medical university. So if in medical university you try to study on several pages of information, you'll never deal with this task in future. So you have to work with large amount of information every day, and you have to study how to distinguish the most important information from the less important. So that's the very important practical skill. Okay, so here is our YouTube channel. Please, if you want, subscribe and get the notification about our new lectures. And after the lecture is published, you may write different comments, and usually we answer your question if you type them there. Okay, so this is as for our YouTube channel. Except our YouTube channel, we have our Facebook page. And that's another way how we interact with the students. Sometimes we put news in our website, but of course you do not update our website every time. And here exactly our Facebook. Let me put you the hyperlink in the chat. And where is my chat? Here's our Facebook page. So here we publish some information about, for example, our exams, about our lectures, about something like our Olympiad, for example. You know that here our students of the last year, here our winners, and we publish the information who won this championship. So if you want to get the most relevant information from our department, please subscribe, and you will be informed about all the changes. Sometimes the schedule is changed, sometimes we shift from online to offline education, sometimes some other changes are done, and to inform you quickly, we just created this Facebook page. So use it, and please, then you'll be informed, and you'll be updated, up to date. Okay, so what else I want to tell you? Except all this information, besides another important hyperlink is educational videos. Sometimes during practical lessons, we use videos. Okay, somebody is still late. Please, you're late for 50 minutes. I think it's unacceptable, and this is only because this is the first lecture I allow you to enter. Okay. So, educational videos. These are the hyperlinks on different YouTube videos. For example, in cytology, this is a perfect video about the cell. If we use any videos in our lectures, we put the hyperlink under the video. So all those original videos you can get from the internet. And here, if you have enough time, this is not obligatory. Yeah, that's just beautiful video files helping you to understand and facilitating your understanding of different topics. So if you want to get more, you can go here and watch them. I'm sorry, I don't know who is calling. Okay, then after all, I want to say several words about if you missed some lessons, what you have to do, and what do we usually do during the practical lessons. During practical lessons, we work with the help of Moodle, here this system, and I think you are already familiar with it, as you worked in online education for last semester in different other departments. So our subject has the name histology, cytology, and embryology. Okay, and here in Moodle, we subdivide all our topics into different set of information. So first topic, we have histology, cytology, and embryology next week. Next week, you'll have the MCQ test. So next time you open your Moodle, log in, and after that you choose histology, cytology, and embryology. This is the subject. And after that you open MCQ cytology. You answer cytology MCQs during only practical lesson. Now they're hidden from students, so you can find them now. So you have only one attempt. So we ask you not to take the test before the practical lesson, okay? Only during practical lesson and only when teachers allow. Then here how you take the MCQ control. After that also we give you drawings of the first topic, and questions about cytology are also available here. This is the hyperlink to our website. We have already used those there. Okay. We have already discussed this list of questions here, this list of questions. Here all questions are given, and in our Moodle we take only questions about cytology. And after that, very important aspect, if you have missed a lesson, what you have to do? Maybe some students will ask you, group mates, if you have missed the lesson every Saturday from 9 to 3, you go to the Moodle and open this hyperlink. So if you missed, if during practical lesson you didn't perform this MCQ test, during the Saturday you perform this. Let's open this hyperlink. And 3 steps you have to perform, I'm sorry. To retake the lesson, first you should take the MCQ test only, and after that you should draw albums, and here is the hyperlink. Let's check how it works. Here is the hyperlink. So examples for album drawings depending on the topic you've missed. Sorry, there is a snowfall from the roof. It was frightful. Okay. So, for example, if you've missed the topic blood, you open this image, you open your album, and at home you draw those blood cells in your album, subscribe them, just label different elements, and as it is written in the Moodle, and attach your drawings. I think now I view as a teacher, but if you open as a student, you can drag and paste here your drawings. So after you draw
Sorry, teacher, one question.
Yes, of
So
course.
in the practical class, we're gonna have like to draw the designs and also like do the test on Moodle
Yes.
at the same time.
Yes, in practical classes, you take the MCQ test, and teachers will inform you when to do that, when to start, so you do not start yourself. Also, during practical lessons, you draw albums, you draw in your albums, but you do not attach those drawings in the Moodle, okay, if you visit a practical lesson. But if you have missed the lesson, if you want to retake it, because missed lessons always should be retaken, then you go to the Moodle, and you take not the regular MCQ, but you open rework hyperlink, and here you take this test, then draw album drawings and take a picture and attach here. And after that, you not only draw images, but you also you also write down answers for those questions from the list. Also, you go and take this. For example, if somebody has missed the topic cytology, yeah, then such student opens the first list of questions he finds in our website with the help of this hyperlink. He looks at this list of questions and he writes down answers. Okay, and after in the copybook, in any copybook, and during practical lessons, we don't ask you to write down answers for those questions. Okay, besides, I want to warn you, list of questions is not to be answered in written form. Do not write answers. You may write down in the copybook anything, only if you want. This is your own decision. But I, personally, I think that it is not necessary. It is better not to do that, because when you are writing something, you do not think, you just mechanically copy the information, and it is better to spend this time for learning just try to repeat this information. Just try to read a little bit more times, yeah? But do not write the answers during practical lessons, okay? But if you have missed the question, you need to write down answers for all the questions. That's the difference, okay? So be attentive. For practical lessons, for regular practical lessons, you are not asked to write down answers for the questions. You just only learn answers. You need to keep them in mind, learn by heart, yeah?
Teacher, and
But
why we're not having the practical classes like offline? Because other subjects which are important like anatomy, we're doing it offline. Why we're
we
not
do
doing
this
it?
offline. We do this offline. You mean regular practical classes, they are conducted
Yes.
offline? Yes,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, of course they are offline. Don't worry. I
Okay.
tell you only if you've missed how to retake. Some students, if they've missed, they retake online. But of course, you visit offline lessons. And besides, very well. Thank you for reminding. I'll tell you them. Our timetable also we have to analyze at the end of the lecture. Okay, so in online format, in this format, only those students work who have missed the lesson, if they've missed it, they were absent, okay? So if they
Teacher,
were absent, yeah.
what about question in the list of work? Where we can found it in the internet or just in book?
A list of questions are in the internet. Here is the hyperlink. Let me give you the hyperlink. I'm sorry, this one. Here they are, and I started from that. So in our website, for medical students, they are divided by modules, and we start from the most first. So here's the hyperlink. I go to the chart, look, and here is the list of questions. So use this hyperlink, and when you open it, where is it? You just use the most first. Okay, here cytology 1. And this is exactly we start from this. Okay, so here is this list. The hyperlink is in the chat. Okay, so for offline lessons, you prepare questions from the list, you prepare our MCQs, you prepare the textbook, and you use our lecture. Lots of information, lots of work to do. So do not relax, because histology is really a complicated subject. And besides, I want to inform you that every practical lesson, you get a mark. You are asked a question and you are examined every practical lesson. And what we take into account, we take your MCQ result, your album drawings, your oral answers, and your practical skills, how you recognize all those organelles in the digital images. Besides, I want to tell you that this textbook, it has a lot of pictures. This textbook is recommended because this is a text and atlas. So when you prepare, please not only read, but also look with your eyes and try to remember all the structures, how they look like, and you have to recognize, as I told you at the beginning of the lecture, you have to recognize mitochondria, Golgi complex, and explain why do you think this is the Golgi, what are the criteria. Like that. Okay, so let's return to the makeup lesson. So if some students have missed a lesson, only in this case, they use this online format in form of MCQs, drawings, and written answers. While during practical lessons, offline lessons, regular lessons, if you do not miss anything, you come to the classroom and you answer oral questions. So you should not write down answers, only learn them by heart. Okay. And after that, if you've missed the lesson, you should also inform us about your makeup lesson attempt. So please go here and write down that you will write in retaken, something like that. Okay, just follow this instruction. If something is not very well understood, ask your teachers either during the practical lesson or via the emails. Our emails are given in the website. Okay, and as for the timetable, our lectures are conducted every second week. So next week you don't have a lecture, but you will be provided in the YouTube with the relevant information. Yeah, and every lecture we use the same identifier, the same cipher. So please remember it and use it after 1 week. Do not late, because we check your presence, your attendance by the information from the chat. Besides, if somebody has forgotten to put the information in the chat, please go now and put it. Yeah, and besides, except Moodle during practical lessons, I want also to show you our electron journal. I don't know, maybe it is already booked. Yeah, electron journal. Every lesson we fill in your practical lesson journal, and you can control your marks and how to understand what was the topic, because some students, they missed a lesson and they forgot the topic and they ask what topic is he missed. For example, as you see, some student, he has an absence, and as journal is organized in Ukrainian language, you should press this primitka, and you can see the data, when was the lesson, and when you've missed something, and the topic of the lesson. When you see the topic, you go to the Moodle. Sorry. You go to the Moodle, choose the proper topic and retake it, for example, like that, okay? So please control us, and after the practical lessons, when you got some marks, you check them, and if you see any mistakes, you inform your teachers, and teachers can correct them. And I advise you to control your marks besides, because really sometimes due to technical mistakes, something should be confused, and you can get not the proper mark. So please inform us about any problems you have, and I advise you to do the same in other departments. Some students say that they don't have access to the electron journal. Please, electron journal destined to facilitate our work, and its function to inform you about your marks. So you shouldn't ask us about your marks. And actually, even if in printed journals some mistakes are present, it is not so important if mistake is in the electron journal, because exactly electron journal is used to calculate your final mark, okay? So please control your marks, and if you have not yet got the access to electron journal, please do that. Ask your dean office, ask your representatives, but your access to the Moodle and to electron journal is critical. It's very important, okay? So please do not miss the opportunity to control your marks. Then what else I wanted to tell you, that every lesson you are examined, and it means that at the end of our education, we finish our discipline, we end at the end of next semester, next winter you have exam, and your marks are calculated, they are summarized, and they are divided into the number of lessons, and your average mark accounts 60% of your final mark. So your final mark depends strongly on your practical lesson, on every practical lesson. So every practical lesson matters and affects your final mark. So if you want to relax during 2 semesters and want to prepare well for complex, it doesn't work, because according to the formula, every practical lesson influence on your final mark. So you have to work hard every lesson. And some students, they relax during the first semester because they don't have exam in summer, and they start to work hard on it during the second one. I'm sorry, but please, if you are, how to say, if you understand everything pretty well, you should work hard during every practical lesson, so don't miss an opportunity. And please, I understand that I wasted the time of the first lecture for explaining you our rules, but it is very important for you to understand what do we want to get from you. I think our system is very transparent and very clearly. So first, you have exactly a list of questions, and we provide you exactly with a list of questions and with the sources of information. And do not forget to prepare and to use them. Okay, and at the end, also several words about our timetable. I'm sorry.
A question.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you get the recorded lectures, like you're recording right now, right?
Yeah, right now I'm recording the lecture, but I don't want to put it in the YouTube. I just record because I want to save the chat. Okay, I just don't want to copy the information from
In
the chat.
case, in
But
case we want to rewatch again this lecture, where can we find it?
okay, let me download it on the website. Okay, okay. If you need, I'll look. Okay, I don't want to put it in the YouTube channel. I just put it in the website. Okay, and I'll show you where to go. So it will be here, lectures. Okay. Do you see the screen here, lectures icon? You open, and okay, I'll download it. It will be here. It will not be in the YouTube channel, but this exactly lecture, because this, I thought this lecture is just the general description. Okay, here it will be.
All right, thank you.
At the end of the day. Okay, thank you. Okay, and as for the timetable, let me show you the last I wanted. Timetable, yeah, why timetable is here? Timetable is here, and now you can find here only the information about our lecture. Here is the Google Meet hyperlink, and you use this today, next time after 1 week until the end of the semester. And today we'll add the information about practical classes, about what teacher you have and what room you have in our department. Today we'll consider and we'll confirm the latest version, because we were really confused. This is the first year when we get medical students in form of waves. You know that you started in September, some students started in November and in December. So we deal with that issue, how to distribute our teachers, and I think the most latest version will be published today. So here you'll find the timetable of classes, means what's the name of your teacher and what's the number of your room. That's what you can get out of here. Okay, I think in general I described to you all the information, and now you are informed. You have to attend practical classes in time. You have to have your lab coat, colorful pencils, colored pencils, because you have to draw something. Okay, do not forget to take colored pencils, and your mask, of course. In our classes, you should wear a mask, you should wear it properly, and please don't forget about that. So if you are without mask, you are expelled, and if you do not put it on, you can't attend the practical lessons. Okay, so now if you have any questions, I'm ready to answer them, please.
Teacher, about the papers that we're going to use to draw, is it like the normal papers or the like the big white paper that you flip? Do you
Can you repeat
understand what I mean?
Can you repeat, please?
I studied biology, but we didn't use like the normal white paper, the A4 papers. Like we used another long ones. Do you use
Okay.
the same or like?
You'll see during practical lessons about papers, about paper albums, you mean?
Yes, the paper used to draw.
They
Like
are small. If you are asking about the format, they are like a
yes, the
copybook.
former.
Small.
Ah, okay. So you're drawing.
If you have a small bag, I think.
Okay,
it will be
I
for you.
understand. Thank you.
Okay, dimension. Yeah, actually, you can draw even a piece of paper if you don't like the format of our album. You're free to do whatever you want, but in our albums, you are provided with a black and white diagrams, and you need only to color them. So if you draw in a white piece of paper, then you'll spend a little bit more time. It's just to save your time. Okay, any other questions?
Teacher, what about this book in the library, Histology Laboratory? What we should do at home?
At home in the text with the textbook.
Yes.
First, you take this textbook from the library, and it
No.
is available. Then,
Yes.
what you have to do at home? With this, no, you just don't work with album at home. Just you work with albums only during practical lesson. What you have to do is to put it in the bag and not to forget to bring next time. Because even if you forget your album during practical lesson, you have to draw in a paper. So it is better not to forget it. At home, you don't do anything, okay? It is destined only to work during lesson. Okay, any other questions? Okay, if you have no any other questions, I remind you to go to the chat and to put your name and group number if you've not yet done that. Next time, don't be late. And just please do not relax. The subject is very difficult, but very important. If you want to get to be a really good specialist, you should learn histology very well, because the most modern technology methods are based on cellular therapy and even acellular therapy. And to understand how they work, you have, of course, to know very well our subject. Okay, we'll see you during practical lesson, during next lecture. Now, thank you for the attention. And you may go if you don't have any other questions.
Yeah, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Teacher, what is the next topic?
Goodbye.
First topic for the
Practical lesson, yeah. Practical lesson is the topic cytology, plasma membrane, and all organelles except nucleus. And you always can get the topic from our website. So as I told you, here is the website, and here our work plan. And while it is downloaded, here the first, as you can see, next week starts from the 15th of February. Structural components of the cell, plasma membrane, and the cytoplasm. Okay.
Thank you.
So mention.